Campers, it's me, Ari Lehman, the first Jason Voorhees. From Friday the 13th, I'm here with AJ, and he's got the juiciest slice ready for you. It's dripping with blood. Jason never dies.
What makes a horror film kill memorable, terrific, even in some way profound or poignant? Let's explore. Thanks for checking this out. If anything about it trips your fancy, please like, subscribe, and share.
Oh, yes.
Without further ado.
You folks go right to California and have a good trip.
But Fred, if they did that, there wouldn't be a movie.
You folks stay on the main road now, you hear? Stay on the main road.
Fred knows what he's talking about, but bad decisions guide their way as the Carter family turns off the main interstate into the wasteland of the desert to visit a long-defunct mine.
Mother, this road is not a blue line. It's a dotted line if it's on the map at all.
Any hemming and hawing will prove justified. Among the Carters are Big Bob and Ethel, and their 3 adult or near-adult children, Lynne, Brenda, and Bobby, as well as Lynne's husband Doug and their daughter, wee baby Katie.
Jesus Christ, in a crunch, what was that?
They may have been specifically vaguely warned off.
Besides, there's nothing back in there but animals.
But proceed with typical suburban arrogance, unaware the real threat isn't the inhospitable terrain that makes a joke of their station wagon. But a feral family consisting of 6 members: Papa Jupiter, Mama, Mars, Pluto, Mercury, and Ruby, 5 of whom have an unapologetic and unrepentant yen for barbecued human flesh, even of the infant variety.
Maybe I make a joke like last time and eat the toes.
Without enough sense between them to recognize the potential danger even without the starving cannibals, they wind up stranded and are completely delusional about their situation.
I suppose it's my fault we got lost. Mother, don't be ridiculous. It's Daddy's idea to go looking around for this mine without any help.
Going so far as to cavalierly set up a picnic table in the desert. Big Bob elects to retrace their path to get help, and will only end up learning how royally screwed they are when Fred reveals the truth.
They're all okay. Like hell they are. Give me that booze. It's something you should know about. Yeah, well, what is it?
Big Bob rushes to return only to be pushed and prodded until his heart throws a rod, and he's left vulnerable enough to unarm and weaponize.
Pluto.
Papa Jupe?
Papa Jupe. We're about ready.
Meanwhile, darkness descends, and while the Carters settle in for what they think is just another night of camping, a visitor, they aptly named Pluto, sidles up stealthily and steals their gasoline with some skilled siphoning. I don't know how the Fibonacci sequence factors into Michael Berryman's asymmetrical visage, but his unique look has to represent some kind of mathematical perfection when it comes to creating a face that at once strikes terror and pathos. Anyhow, a ready food supply for cannibals, the totally unprepared Carters are soon set upon, their RV a veritable smorgasbord of delectable morsels. To separate Brenda and wee baby Katie from the rest of the Carters, the feral family shows that, despite their obvious shortcomings, their distraction game is on point when they bind Big Bob to a tree and with the pilfered gas, turn him into a human Roman candle. With the others doing their damnedest to extinguish the family patriarch, Brenda faces the absolute unmitigated horror of defilement, besmirchment, a long walk down a short pier into a pool of rapey sharks.
Brenda? Brenda? Keep an eye on the baby, okay?
While Pluto has a fit and falls in it after some brotherly rivalry,
You wait till you get to be a man.
sees him humiliated as Mars claims Brenda's innocence for his own. By the time Lynne returns to the RV, Mars is preparing to depart with the most delectable morsel of all, wee baby Katie. Mama Bear instinct kicks in, and Lynne drops him clean with a justified foul. Only for the uncivilized brute to immediately get the upper hand. Having just witnessed her husband get burned to death, and with her daughters engaged in mortal combat, Ethel enters the fray and instinctively tries to sweep out the filth. Only for a frustrated Mars to use Big Bob's revolver to gun her down. Brenda does her best to rise to the occasion and doesn't let terror prevent her from sliding a weapon to Lynne. Knowing her baby is on the line, Lynne fights the valiant fight, the honorable fight, the fight most parents would jump into without a second thought, and Mars rewards her bravery with hot lead. Even gutshot, Lynne defies her attacker and sticks him a good one. Before he finishes her off with a well-placed shot. Just that quickly, Lynne is gone, and her baby. Stolen by a band of terrifying cannibalistic marauders. Before running off, Mars puts an exclamation point on the PTSD Brenda will suffer the rest of her days.
I come back for you later, Curly.
And Doug discovers not only that his daughter has been snatched away as if by a pack of rabid, vicious animals, but that the love of his life has been taken from him permanently.
Don't go away.
Alright, this better be good.
The main component that brings this exit up to the point of extraordinary is how it subverts expectation instilled by decades of film grammar, especially at the time of release. It essentially breaks what could be recognized as horror film decorum to avoid going certain overly aggressive places.
Just uncomfortable, that's all.
For sake of suspense, it can be hinted at for sure, even explicitly exploited, but only so long as, in the end, some paths aren't treaded to their crushing conclusion, because such conclusions are too demoralizing for audiences seeking a fun thrill ride.
Yep, that stands up to scrutiny.
By that reasoning, deaths in horror should be a stunning shock, a chill, a jolt to the nerves, but not a bummer. Kills in scary movies aren't supposed to be stratified with so much emotional complexity that the tragedy detracts from that thrill ride element. In such flicks, who most often gets the axe or whatever weapon is closest at hand? High school and college age people who usually in some way, no matter how unfair or unjust, due to their poor decisions have it coming. A young mother whose infant gets carted away by heathens, not so much. Tossing the baby into the mix as well. We at the Juiciest Slice channel in no way encourage baby tossing. Ups the taboo factor tenfold.
That's good for you.
The audience is aware of what her failure means for wee baby Katie. The unexpectedness of the attack, and ultimately the total pointlessness of showing any resistance, augments the depth of meaning by spotlighting the fragility of life, that for as tenacious as the human spirit, one bullet can end it all in a flash, and highlighting how circumstances, twisted by perverse and obscene players in a game without rules, can make mockery of the maternal instinct to protect at all costs by presenting it as a foolish gambit. It doesn't matter how great your perseverance or desire or determination. Sometimes life ends like a light bulb filament burning out. It's a hard lesson that there are still places out there where no code of conduct exists, and no one escapes the local food chain.
God help us!
Lynne's exit also epitomizes the hollowness left in the wake of most violent deaths, the ones that crop up randomly and with frightening regularity. Because of economic and other circumstances, many are forced to live in dangerous places, or visit them for their job, or put themselves in any number of dodgy situations for a variety of reasons. In this case, there was absolutely no reason for the Carters to be out there. No reason for a young mother to have to face off against a maniac, only to have her life cut short in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah, fantastic.
There's a certain ruthless realness to this that can't be overstated. The Hills Have Eyes offers a resonating, nuanced, and three-dimensional view of death few films dare to go for, because, aforementioned, audiences like a thrilling roller coaster ride without being subjected to anything too disturbing. Not something that rides the line of reality in a way that makes them uneasy, uncomfortable, or unnecessarily discomfited. I guess folks don't like to be reminded that the only safety nets there are in life are the ones we establish, and if left to our own devices, many would plummet and land on the cold hard ground with a splat upon impact. For a soft-spoken, almost milquetoast former college professor, Wes Craven had a real diabolic streak about him.
Well, I'm sincerely glad to hear that, for all our sakes.
He seemed to want to point out that we should despair at the state of humanity, because extreme violence will always be part and parcel of mankind, who only pulled itself up from a primeval state through might, force, and subjugation to create the false sense of security that allows everyone to sleep at night.
There'll be hell to pay now.
Lynne's exit is truly a tragic and atrocious death, and all the reality of it is unabashedly put front and center, so the audience has to soak in the tragic results of a horrific deed carried out by someone motivated by need and desperation, but too proud of his dastardly actions to view him as anything other than a total monster.
What happened? Why didn't you tell us sooner?
What's worse, Lynne's denied a noble sacrifice because she fails to thwart the abduction of Katie. The sad truth was that it would have been better not to engage. Mars was an unorganized dimwit riding high on adrenaline, practically frothing at the mouth, so engaging him without a firearm was foolhardy at best. Unfortunately, the instinct to save her child failed her, because it erased reason from her actions, and she sprang at an inopportune time. But quite honestly, what parent wouldn't?
Oh, Katie!
What percentage would have the risk assessment skills and situational awareness in such a volatile confrontation to know when to back down for sake of self-preservation, the chance to later effectuate rescue? It was a real between a rock and a hard place situation. Very few would have the presence of mind and foresight to manifest a better outcome in that scenario. When victims are dumb kids up to bad behavior, them getting got is par for the course.
You're talking in circles.
A young wife and mother whose only mistake was participating in a family trip shows how in reality anyone could wind up a victim but for a mislaid decision or two. And that's not a fun factoid to point out, and holds to the fire the feet of anyone who came to the show to have a good time, reveling in the misfortune of those comprising the body count. There is some solace and redemption in the fact that Doug, with the help of Ruby and a handy rattlesnake, is able to best Mars and recover Katie, but it doesn't change facts.
What is it?
The loss of Lynne will resonate for years and years as her child grows without the mother who nobly laid down her life to try to save her, only to fail. What a gut punch. The balls don't always roll in your direction, and as my Gram, rest her soul, always said, life isn't fair.
What the hell was that?
Well, I've about reached the end of the rope, so I won't leave you dangling. Thanks for hearing out my ramblings. Please share any refutations, opinions, accusations, japes, or other ideas in the comments below. And please check out whatever I'm up to next time. Bye now!
Bye, creepy man! Keep it creepy!
He's a weird guy.
It makes me want to puke if you really want to know.
Oh, Lord.
And you better worry about what big bomb will do to the rattlesnakes. Come on, you.